Here we are, first video since I finally decided on a path to take this YouTube channel to. Only took me 5 years. So now comes the hard part. Which game out of thousands of games should I cover first? Sure, Steam has hundreds if not thousands of games, picking one randomly would probably be enough. Incision, for example, looks great. But it is in early access, and playing it feels like half of the food you were promised is still not here yet, so I'm holding off on that one. Forgive me, Father. Oh god, no, not this one. Holy shit, I don't even know if this is allowed on YouTube. This one, that right there, is a game that a lot of people recommend, but I played it and it's okay, I guess. The levels are too simplistic, the guns feel like they don't pack a punch at all, but everyone kinda seems to forget that and just focus entirely on the frankly insane design in some of these monsters. Head-on? Actually, I don't have a problem with head-on, in fact, it's on my list. I just need to find the disk space to record a 40+ hour game, and then proceed to pay my therapist for Google searching the game itself. I was having none of that. I needed something new, something fresh, but at the same time, something that encapsulates everything a boomer shooter does right. So I was stuck, unsure of where to start, when out of nowhere, in comes Realms Deep 2022, aka Boomer Shooter Paradise. A couple of hours of boomer shooter galore. Almost all of the games interested me in a way or another, but one grabbed my attention by the balls. Well, okay, 2 of them, but one is out and the other one is not. So that was out, tried it, and immediately had to calm my raging boner down due to how awesome the game was and went to work on the little trailer for my comeback video on YouTube, while obviously making sure to pass the message that I was gonna do Cultic first. Except everyone kinda thought I was gonna do Duke Nukem because it was the first clip of the trailer. Fuck. I had one job, you know? One job! Developed by one absolute Chad of a man, Jason, Cultic Episode 1 is a pew-pew game inspired by the good old build engine games in the 90s. Well, and to be way more precise, because the developer's not even trying to hide it here, inspired by Blood, the absolute champion in the 4-build game gods. I live again. The year is 1963, and you play as what? Listen, you play as John Cultic. I don't know, man. They don't really give you names in this game, alright? So we're just gonna have to wing with every name we give. Just go with it, alright? Just run with it. Johnny Cultic over here is investigating a series of murders that happened in the town of Granswell. And either he went too deep or he became too attached because he gets kicked out of the case. So he does what every not responsible at all man does and gives out his badge, weapon, and sets off to investigating this cult on his own. Well, as it turns out, showing up to a dangerous place filled with potential murderers without means to protect yourself is not that good of an idea. So the obvious thing happens, he gets hit by a hatchet. Don't worry about it though, because I assume he only got hit once, because he wakes up in a pile of corpses right afterwards, and I do happen to know that it takes around 3 to 4 hatches for Steve Cultic over here to go down on hard, which happens to be what we're playing on. And here we are, finally playing with Mr. Billy Cultic himself. However, let's talk graphics first. You have what looks like voxels mixed with pixelated graphics, but somehow everything kinda looks very clean and readable. You can also turn on and off the color filter option, which degrades and limits the amount of colors on the game itself, which does seem to be how the game developer wants you to play the game, even though I personally leave it off because I do like a bit of more color in my game. Both are completely fine. So I played this level before, as this was the demo level, so I knew that entering through the store is like asking to go right back into that pile. You don't need to live like this, let me show you how to do this. Get up here, go through the vents, pick up your best friend through the whole game, the dynamite sticks, and listen and enjoy to your first taste of combat. Delicious. Finish off the others with the hatchet. Don't let that hatchet fool you, however, because you can hold 10 of them. Why waste your time meleeing the enemy when you can just throw your hatchet right at the enemy? Trust me, you'll be happier that way. Here you get your first real pew pew gun, the handgun. The pistol in this game just slaps. Great for finishing off some cultists and a great way to appreciate that headshot sound. You won't be seeing much of it though. You'll see why. Since we're here and you're already teasing me about it, might as well talk about secrets. Secrets here are actual secrets! Unless you see water. 90% of the times, if you see water you can swim on, there's probably a secret there. But the rest of them are so hard that around halfway through this game I just stopped trying. And what makes it worse is that the developer loves teasing you about those secrets. I will, however, tell you about one of them, because to be honest, it's kind of a dick move to hide this one away. So you made your entrance. Great! Now go up the stairs, clear the garage room, ignore the upgrade bench sitting right here. We'll talk about it in a few minutes, don't worry. But don't ignore that armory door right there. You can't get through that door because that's just a tease. What you have to do is open the garage door, clean the trash, go over here where there's a crashed truck, climb up here, and finally blow up this wall over here to get a couple of bullets, a weapon part, a ballistic vest, and of course, your brand new arousal toy, the sawed-off shotgun. It's meaty, it shoots 1 or 2 barrels, your choice, kills 60% of the enemies in this game with 1 or 2 hits, and as a final cherry on top, it also jibs them in the process. And somehow, some way, a shotgun this good only manages to grab 3rd place in my list of favorite weapons. Don't worry though, because this game knows exactly what you want. Every time you pick a new toy to pew pew with, the game always makes sure to give you the perfect scenario for it. Like right now. What's a shotgun good for, you may ask? What a dumb question. Of course, it's a group of cultists bunched together. So not even a full minute after you picked up your new bad boy, you're already using it in the perfect environment. But hold on a minute though. Those are not cultists at the ideal range for your pistol or your shotgun. Well, that's because you need the ideal range for my favorite weapon in the entire game, the rifle. A lever rifle that houses magnum rounds that one-shots normal cultists in the head at any range, causing me to question if I still have a shot at competitive multiplayers. And that causes more slow-mos than Max Payne, and I absolutely love this weapon. I goddamn love this weapon! Did I mention this game has slow-mo? And it's not just for the rifle either, it seems to happen randomly when you headshot them or jib them out of existence with any weapon or explosive, and it never feels boring. So I keep going through the first level, having a great time, and trying to fully understand why I was having so much fun when I see a red-robed cultist who wields a shotgun, so I figured best way to deal with him is with the good old dynamite stick. He was having none of that, and so he kicks the damn dynamite stick at me. And just like that, I understood exactly what makes the combat so much fun. A cultist throws an axe at you as you happen to be shooting him in the face. The axe doesn't hit you, it instead falls to the ground because your bullets shot him. You can also kick the axe, by the way. Oh, you see these lanterns scattered all over the place? Well, pick them up and throw them. Or shoot them, your choice. You blew up a stick of dynamite right into a cultist's foot as they were throwing an axe. Not only do they jib everywhere, not only does it cause a goddamn slow-mo, but the axe also shifts course and just falls right into the ground. Not only do you have to worry about the absurd amount of cultists right in front of you, but you also have to have in mind the Half-Life style physics the game has to offer. Pair that with the game offering at least one new monster and one new weapon per level, not counting secrets I might add, and you have the recipe to never feel like you're doing busy work. Speaking of new enemies, level 1 is about to finish, but not without one last surprise. After going up and down through some mountains, chipping some cultists, you have to jump down these pile of corpses. As soon as you jump down, the atmosphere changes. You're now basically swimming in a pile of corpses with only your lighter, until you start seeing these hanging corpses. And because they're sprites and not 3D, they just stare at you regardless of the angle. So, the path starts opening up, and so does the creepiness. Pieces of meat stranded left and right, a door that needs a key, more corpses hanging around than ever, and most important of them all, traps. Hey, look at that, a key placed right next to a teddy bear. You pick up the key, and as soon as you do, oh shit! Surprise! The corpses are alive! Oh, but just when you realize these zombies are not really a threat, don't worry. The main event comes up to play. Say hello to your first really big threat, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Enjoyer. A beefy enemy that tanks almost everything you throw at them and that has at least 3 special attacks. Traps, obviously, I mean, have you checked the room? Your very deadly chainsaw swipe, which I don't have the footage for because I never got hit by them, and worst of all, fucking shrapnel grenades that will hurt like a train and are very annoying to dodge. Your priority should always be to take care of this guy first and foremost. And here we go. Amazing first level, incredible pacing, 128 enemies out of 120 enemies killed, great 40 minutes. Now it's time to go for a swim. Before we go for a swim, make sure to spend a few precious minutes practicing your dynamite throwing. It's gonna be useful for later, trust me. And by later, I mean immediately after dealing with these cultists. Introducing the cultists, but with shields. Now, I would tell you how powerful they are or how hard that shield is to break, but I wouldn't know anything about it since they always get either a Molotov or a dynamite stick to the face. Since we have another upgrade table here, might as well talk about the upgrade system. Scattered through every level and on secrets are these big boxes called weapon parts, which is basically your upgrade currency. Each weapon has upgrade paths. Yes, I believe you can get them all through secrets and shit. And usually 3 of them are your basic path. More damage, faster reload, etc. Your good shit. For now, I'd recommend the buckshot upgrade to your shotgun since this level is very close quarters half of the time. After you make your choice that comes down to how do you want to kill your favorite cultist slightly faster, you drop down this hole and bam! Here's your new environment for the next 20 minutes or so. A shipyard, as the name of the level implies. First things first though, Water means secret, so swim down there. This part of the level basically comes down to fighting in the docks, around the docks, and inside the big ship. Awesome shit. But what I want to pay attention to is how they introduce the special enemies you should always take priority over the rest. Sure, shotgun cultist is dangerous, but easily dealt with. Shield cultist... Sorry, no. But when the game wants you to know a specific enemy is a threat to deal with immediately, it makes sure to prepare something to introduce him to you, telling the player that this threat needs to be dealt with immediately in the middle of a battle. Case in point, the next guy. So up until then, you've seen some weird shit, right? Someone dead here and there, your average Floridian on crack withdrawal, nothing special. That's about to change though. When you first enter this room, the first thing you should see is a dead body in the ceiling. I mean, nothing too weird, you've seen plenty of them already. But this one feels a bit different. And when you finally acquire the key, a barrel, out of everything, starts attacking you. I assume because they're trying to avenge all the barrels you exploded in your way here. So your first instinct is running away from it. So you open the door and close it immediately. And as you do, oh shit, say hello to Uncle Cultist. Weird psychic cultists that have the ability to take any object that's movable and fill your face with it. The counter to him is, well, anything really. They don't really like dynamite sticks, or shotgun shots, or rifle shots. Anything, really. Don't worry, the game knows this enemy dies very easily, so that's why they're never alone starting from this level forward. You'll always see them with something else, and always at the most inconvenience of places because being a dick comes with its perks. After meeting that weird Facebook uncle that shares morally questionable shit, you clear the ship to get a key to access the door, and level complete. Sorry. I meant final fight of the level just to make sure you're on your best. And then the end of the level finally shows up. And fuck those two guys. Just fuck those two guys. God damn it. The level starts and the first thing you feel is this different atmosphere to it all. No epic fight right at the beginning, no music, just thick fog and this uneasy feeling creeping right behind you. Love it. As soon as you pick up this handle though, the real fun begins. Feral zombies that, on its own, are not that hard to kill, even though they're more aggressive than your standard zombie in Cultic. But that's because they're never alone. They can easily overwhelm you if you're not paying attention. Their counter? Fire. That's why we have Molotovs and lanterns just scattered all over the level. Because the developer really loves Army of Darkness and this level kinda feels like a nod to it. The second best part of the level comes right here. After you acquired your handle and another piece of equipment, you just have to survive a big wave of zombies as this bridge lowers. But hey, at least you know what new monster is introduced in this level, right? Come on. You should know this by now. Introducing your average bodybuilder influencer that is definitely not on steroids. Look, I feel like this one just didn't land. I'm sorry, just cut me some slack here. This abomination eats lead like cereal and rushes you like you're his new favorite breakfast. Molotov them as soon as you can, and pray that the AI just stays there and doesn't even notice. There, date with the thick boy done, it's finally time to access the main part of this level, which is the factory, where you're supposed to get into to access the mines. And if you think that fight with the big dude was hard, you better have mastered everything the game taught you. Because this room is all about slaughtering everything that moves. And most likely that it will include you a couple of times. To the end of the level we go. Pretty good overall. I'd say it's on my third place right now because the other two were really... Okay, alright. Listen, this is bullshit! And you know that! Fuck you! At this point in the game, expect every room to give you your cultist needs. You start off with a bunch of cultists in a big arena-styled room, followed by hanging platforms, because of course you do, followed by a new enemy, the Armored Cultist. Yes, this footage is from a different level because turns out having armor doesn't really help you if you're 2 inches away from my double-barreled shotgun. Oh, remember the feral zombies from the last level? Turns out they swim now. Just thought it was funny. I feel like the mines as a level overall is just here to double down on the man up or pack up mentality. Let me show you why. In this corridor alone, you have 2 cultists waiting for you, followed by 2 shield cultists, aka the fireplace starters, followed by 2 Floridians on crack. Back to back, I might add. And just when you think it's done, when you can breathe now, say hello to not 1, but 2 giant abominations in one goddamn room! Bullshit! Okay, so hard as hell ending, right? No, here's some more hanging platforms filled with cultists, and down you go back to beginning of the map to use the key you picked up for that big door from the beginning. Not without cleaning the room with your newly acquired weapon. Not without cleaning the room with your newly acquired weapon. The Sten. Your new handgun. As in, you're really not going to use it much because you already have better weapons. I'm just going to ignore this level screen now, for my sanity's sake, I guess. Another level, another difference in pacing. This one is a all-you-can-eat buffet that starts slow and steady, and then halfway through, kinda, the level says to itself, I'm bored, and throws at you everything it can to keep your balls from becoming too comfortable. For some, it can be a slugfest filled with cheesy explosive traps, corridors that look the same, and zombies. Lots and lots of zombies. Counter-argument to that, lots and lots of zombies for your newly acquired Sten. It's almost like the game developer thought this one through. Like I said previously, that slugfest won't really last that long, because right after you meet your new walking nightmare, seriously, that guy needed one fire explosion, a couple of stand shots, one random panic rifle shot, and 4 shotgun shots from both barrels. Anyway, after you took down your average money-hungry Hollywood executive, you can retrieve the key you need to open the door to wrap up the level. But not without the game rewarding you for your efforts, of course. Introducing the FG-42. It's the rifle, except it has a scope. So far you've been using this holy grail of headshots for picking enemies up from a distance. No more. Keep that baby for mid-range encounters, because this bad boy takes care of those little flies for you. And because there's always something more to Cultic, here, have both weapons consume different ammo so that you don't have to rely on other weapons to do the bidding from afar. Fucking perfect! Back to the crypts, fun's over, it's time to throw everything at the player in hopes of keeping him awake. Starting with the perfect setup to try your newly acquired bad boy, followed by a cheeky dynamite here, followed by death because, well, turns out that Netflix producer wants to give you a network special, and it has friends now. After the amazing fight you just had, blow up the... shoot the Let me save you 10 minutes here. The lever is down there in the corner. Blow up the place. Shoot some more cultists, and here you go, end of the level card. Sure. Alright, level 6 is a bit different, so I guess it's time to play Who Wants to Be a Boomer Shooter Enthusiast? If you find a room filled with weapons, ammunition, a new grenade launcher, and weapon parts, what do you think the game developer's trying to tell you? Is it A, a large arena-like structure filled with small fries to kill? B, a large showcase of the grenade launcher because the game knows exactly what you want and is giving it to you? C, waves of progressively harder enemies that will suck you dry of your resources? Or D, a boss battle? Time's up, gamers. The correct answer is... all of them, because of course it is. This level is just awesome. Which is weird because part of my brain is telling me that this feels like a demake from the other intricate levels we just had, but the other part of my brain likes to see dozens and dozens of enemies just getting jibbed into pieces every time they dare to step into my church. Don't be thinking you can just rush in and get the job done though. If you don't do at least a little bit of planning, you will be overwhelmed like I was. Multiple times. Especially when they start throwing the metal-plated cultists and your average Texas Chainsaw cosplayers into the mix. But who am I kidding? Both you and the game developer know that that's just not enough anymore. So why not include a boss battle after all of these jibs you just did? Oh shit, it's a freaking tank! And I don't like it. Look, it was still effective, don't get me wrong. I was grinning from year to year by the thought of single-handedly defeating an army of Floridians, to the point they even had to bring in a fucking tank. But the boss battle itself is basically red light, green light, except with bullets. Shoot the rest of your bullets, hide from the burst of the tank, repeat until it dies. But in the great context of things, does it really matter? Pulling out a great final boss battle on a first-person shooter is always a hard task to accomplish, and the spectacle was more than worth the slight slog that was the final boss battle itself. And at the end of the day, for a $10 game, I got more than my money's worth. Wait. No. Holy shit, it's not over. That's right, gamers! I was not expecting to be just a little bit more halfway through the game. Yes, there was a suspicious weapon slot missing there, but come on. With the amount of secrets in this game, it wouldn't surprise me that the amount of gibs I produced blinded me to the point of missing one of the weapons. No, of course not. That wasn't it. It's because we still have 3 levels to go. Here's your new weapon though. It drops from your average Twitter user. And now your collection is complete. You have your classic submachine gun, double barrel, sniper rifle, grenade launcher, and finally the flamethrower. That, according to video game tradition, should suck. It goddamn doesn't. Think of it almost as a mini BFG, great for the thick boys and even greater for mobs. The rest of the level consists in you storming an entire army of cultists in the hopes of getting into the Asylum. And what a storming that is. Because there's a decent amount of separation between the gathering of cultists, you're basically always fighting them, making sure that you never have a dull moment in between the side quests of acquiring the fuel to power the elevator, which is situated here. After that, you have some rooftop fights and a transition into my favorite level of the entire game. Awesome. The entire point of the beginning of the level is setting up a mood. No music, spooky shit, crazy cult rituals, armored feral zombies, because I didn't die to them enough, I guess. Tight corridors that make it hard to fight at full power, and going in between the walls. A masterpiece in level design and pacing. Just all around a great first part. The second part, though? Of course the Asylum gets set on fire, and of course you have a big arena filled with a bunch of enemies to fight, because why not? That should be the game's tag right here, Cultic, because why not? Hey, it's the penultimate level, so you know what that means. It means the game throwing everything at you at once in the hopes it can make you switch pens one last time. You want long-range battles mixed with close range? You got it! You missed the Floridian on crack! Oh, there's plenty of them there. You want cool set pieces to get your blood pumping, don't you? Here's a wall of lava opening itself to reveal a big battle. Maybe that's what you want, big fighting scenarios. There's plenty of that too! Just awesome all around, and if you told me this is your favorite level, I would actually listen to you. I don't know what else to say about this level. It's fast-paced, it makes usage of everything you learned about Cultic, and I'm amazed I wrote 12 pages about a game that shoots good. Congratulations, you made it to the final level of Cultic, champ. For real this time. Since it's the last level of the game, we need to have a room specifically dedicated to having enough firepower to defeat a country's worth of cultists. All of that ammo to get ready for the final boss.
It is done.
And in the tradition of great FPSs from the history books, the final battle itself is easy. Look, not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting that. Just shoot him until his shield goes out, shoot his heart, occasionally kill a cultist or two if you feel like you're taking too much damage, and that's it! Game's over! The excavation site starts collapsing on its own, and in true badass protagonist vibes, he's only worried about reloading his shotgun before entering what I assume to be a new dimension. If somehow, someway you can tell based on the length of the video and the absurd amount of dick sucking I did for good old pal Jason over here, I highly recommend this game. Now come back next time for some spy-based pew-pewing.